Hello everyone, welcome live to 3 Wide TV, tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League. My name is Peter Short, and I'll be bringing you all the action here tonight around the beautiful Eldora Speedway. You can see it down there. We're slinging some mud here to kick off the 2020 Season 2 here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. And I'll tell you what, it was a fantastic Season 1 for all of these guys. I was a part of it myself, and now up here in the booth as we see a couple of cars still out there slinging some mud. There's Billy Thornton in the number 5 machine getting up against that wall. We'll see that a little bit here tonight. But myself, Peter Shortman, I've been a part of Total Nonstop Racing for 15 years. All the way back in the day, we used to run the EA Sports NASCAR games, and then we jumped over to NASCAR Racing 2003 season. Our lives all went many different ways, and we all came back together earlier this season to restart the Total Nonstop Racing League, and it is absolutely awesome to be up here in the 3 Wide TV booth and see some of the people that we have in the chat. We got the King Canute himself, Jeremy Canute. Jeremy, hopefully we can see you out there on the racetrack at some point, but hopefully you can strap in and enjoy the broadcast here tonight. We'll have a 40-lap feature around this racetrack, and that will set the tone for the beginning of the season. We'll see if we can bring up some of the live timing and scoring so you can see just how everything shook out here in this practice session. It was Nate Catilla, a newcomer to the league, the number 6 machine, fastest here in the practice session. Jason Gracias comes in second, Jason Freeman in third, then Billy Thornton and company. But we're now going to quickly jump over into the qualifying session because, folks, it will be a very quick qualifying session for a lot of these drivers. Let's see if we can jump down to one of the drivers. Here's Tony Lucarelli in the number 41 machine. We'll see if we can ride a lap on board this number 41 machine as he goes into turn number 3 and 4. Imperative that you get a good drive coming out of turn number 4. We're going to see a lot of these cars slipping sideways here tonight. You can already see that berm developed on the top side of the racetrack. We'll see a lot of the drivers use that cushion around this racetrack. Eldora has a tendency to become a little bit single grooved at times. You see, one thing that Lucarelli is trying to do here is to try and stay off the wall, because if you hit the wall in qualifying, iRacing will disqualify you just like that. It'll at least remove one of your laps, but Lucarelli got a clean lap in on lap number 1, and as you can see over there on the left-hand side of your screen, he will jump to the top of the board. As you can see, we have just about 4 minutes left here in this qualifying session for these drivers to get some time in, but it does look like Freeman in the number 20 machine, he jumped to the top of the board in that number 20 machine right there. Looks like he's gonna spin it out coming across the start-finish line right there. He'll be able, of course, to go to a backup car before the start of this race. Newcomer to the league, the number 31 machine, Cole Hahn as well. He has put in a pretty good lap time, currently sitting 4th on the board. But what about Jason Gracias? Jason, in the number 4 machine, he's not a new name to the Total Nonstop Racing League. That number 4 machine, man, I'll tell you what, when I first started back in the day, Jason Gracias was one of the names you had to beat each and every week because he was lightning quick. And how about this man right here, the fastest man in town here so far? Billy Thornton in the number 5 machine has jumped his way up to the top of the charts. Great job for that number 5 machine to be lightning quick here, but the racetrack here will fall a little bit quiet until the number 77 of Dave Harvey. Looks like he's going to get himself back out in the racetrack. There he is. He's going to try and put in a qualifying time. But it's going to be a fantastic season here. Once we get past Eldora, we go to Darlington next week in these cars. And definitely going to be interesting to see how these drivers transition from dirt to the very tricky Darlington Raceway. It's one of my favorite racetracks to go to. And let's hear about some of your favorite tracks to go to in the chat here tonight. We also have Fernando Matos in the chat, rooting on his friend Nate Catilla in the number 6 machine. Nate currently sitting 10th position on the board, but I do believe that is just going to be about all of our qualifiers. The only driver not to take time is the number 84 of Matt Monticelli. That number 84 machine still sitting in pit lane. Not 100% sure whether or not he will get out there, but you can see quick time. The number 5 machine of Billy Thornton, Jason Freeman in second, only about a tenth of a second. In fact, exactly a tenth of a second behind them. And Jason Gracia is about another tenth back in the number 4 machine. So definitely looking like this could be a very fun and exciting race here tonight. Going to also be interesting to see just how much this racetrack gets worn in. Here at Eldora, I mentioned it just a little bit ago that this racetrack tends to favor the high line, especially towards the middle to late stages of the race. But at the beginning of the race, I'm sure we'll see drivers all the way up by the wall and drivers all the way down by the inside wall as well. Of course, the inside, the shortest way around the racetrack. You see it right there. Kind of an odd shape to Eldora, but that's just one of the things that makes it unique. One thing that I definitely want to kind of highlight here tonight is coming out of turn number 2. Going to be very interesting to see coming out of turn number 2 because it's a very unique shape coming out of there. You can kind of see it here from this blimp cam that it's kind of got this funky exit. It's kind of very straight on exit, but then you can see the back straight kind of has a kink in it. That outside wall can sometimes just jump out and grab onto your race car, and I'm sure we'll see that in full effect. Turn number 3, a very gradual entry into turn number 3. Turn number 4, very, very smooth, but one thing that these drivers are going to have to fight with coming out of turn number 4 is the track flattening out. Looks like we got Kyle Kevishausen in the chat as well. We got Ryder Lee Angle 2 rooting on Philip here tonight. Philip Scott in the number 8 machine, currently 6th place on the board. And Logie Bear rooting on Mr. Scott. So we'll have to see how that all pans out. But we do have a couple of heat races here, and we'll see if we can dial that up here for you. We do have a couple of heats that will set the field. We will have the first heat here coming up shortly. But we would definitely want to welcome everyone here to 3 Wide TV because you guys definitely going to be, a big portion of this season. Getting to see a lot of unique names in the chat. We got RC Plains 59 asking how the heats work. So here tonight, we're going to have 2 heats that set up the field. Basically, the drivers who are in the heats will start in the different lines. So this first heat, I believe, will determine your inside row for ultimately the start of the race. Your second heat will start the outside row. Now, caution flags do not count here tonight at Eldora. And we have a little bit of contact here. The number 5 machine, and we're stacking them up here. Glad this is only the heat race. The number 5 machine, he's going to try and get back going. Not 100% sure what happened there. I'm sure these drivers will learn from this little mishap here under caution. One thing I got to mention about these cars is it's very difficult to get them to stop on dirt. They don't have the tires that a lot of the normal dirt cars have. They don't have a lot of traction. When you hit the brake, they have a tendency to slide. The rear end has a tendency to kick out. And one thing you'll see, iRacing on dirt with these national cars, it doesn't give them a rear deck lid. They don't have a rear spoiler, so that will definitely come into full effect here tonight. But the pace truck is going to head down pit road. Luckily, the number 5 of Thornton able to get back up to the front of the field. Pace truck heads down pit road, and we are green flag here at Eldora. It's a 10-lap heat, and the number 5 machine going to jump away here early in the going. Little bit of connection issues right there. We now ride on board with the number 17 of Tristan Meyer in that machine. Contact there with the number 4 to his outside. That is Jason Gracias. Now, one driver I haven't mentioned here tonight is the number 97 machine. He's right there, Mike Tellier. I'm expecting big things out of this number 97 machine this year, running right behind Cole Hahn in the number 31 machine. Meanwhile, you're not missing all too much up at the front. Billy Thornton has got himself up to a 1.5 second advantage over the 31 of Hahn. Hahn looks like he's got a little bit of front end damage from that early collision. You see that front hood kind of flopping around just a little bit. Further back in the pack is the number 83 machine. There he is. That is Austin Grover. He is dubbed Wags for all of the people who have been in the series for quite some time. He's working his way back around the 6th position. And league owner and organizer a little bit further back, that is Garrett Gleason. This is his first race on dirt since the NASCAR Racing 2003 days. In fact, back when we used to run NASCAR Racing 2003, this man right here, Garrett Gleason, won in a John Deere-sponsored number 7 machine. So definitely he knows how to get to victory lane around this racetrack. But back up at the front, the 5 of Thornton's kind of checked out just a little bit. And you can see on the left-hand side of your screen up to a 2.2 second advantage. Best battle on the racetrack right now is still the battle for second. Han still holds on to that. Mike Tellier right behind him. So definitely interesting to see that. We got Roll Film Productions asking me, am I alone tonight, Peter? Yes, I am. I'm manning the cameras around this racetrack. So hopefully you can just sit back and enjoy some total nonstop racing action. And if you're just now joining us, I have been part of this league now for 15 years. So it's really awesome to see total nonstop racing kind of come back in the iRacing service, I should say, and kind of revitalize itself. But up at the front, the number 5 of Thornton, man, he is absolutely setting sail up front. Now watch that outside groove as tonight goes on. You'll see this little bit of a black stripe develop up near the top, and a little bit of connection issues for the number 5 machine. But as that black stripe develops, you'll start to see, and you can kind of see it good from this angle right here as all those cars kick sideways coming out of turn number 2. Just a slight discoloration in the racetrack. It's definitely going to make things a little bit slicker. There's Austin Grover getting a little bit high up on the racetrack as Garrett Gleason works his way around. White flag is in the air in the first heat for this man right here. Billy Thornton working his way around the racetrack down the back stretch. He is going to work his way into turn number 4. Checkered flag is out for heat number 1. And the number 5 machine of Thornton does go to the top here. Qualified on the pole, led every lap of this heat, finishing in second a little bit further back. That man right there, whose hood is flipped up. How about that? That's one way to finish, folks, with your hood flipped up against your windshield right at the end of the race. Mike Tellier going to come home in third, but just like that, we're going to jump over into heat number 2. And this one is going to have Jason Freeman in the number 20 machine starting out front. There you see him. To his outside, the number 41 of Tony Lucarelli. Philip Scott will start this one from third. Then Dave Harvey, Nate Catilla, who was the fastest time in practice. I'm sure Catilla not too excited that he will be starting back in 5th. Vincent Valvano will be starting in 6th, and Matt Monticelli going to be the interesting one. Looks like he is definitely out there. The Beavis and Butthead, number 84 machine, so great to see him out there. He did not set a qualifying time, but will be starting heat number 2. Got to go check on the chat. Roll Film Productions, Nate Catilla, can't wait to be on 3Y TV. Well, folks, Mr. Catilla will be starting this one from the inside of row number 3. And folks, I would love to bring you the starting lineup here, but unfortunately the iRacing heats just don't work all too well with the kind of our qualifying lineup graphic that we have. And that will definitely be rectified next week when we go to Darlington. Very much looking forward to that one. Very tough track. The track that's too tough to tame. And really, if you look at the schedule, these early races are pretty tough. I mean, we go from Eldora with these national cars, which are very, very tricky to drive, especially on a dirt track, all the way to Darlington, which, of course, is one of the most difficult tracks on the schedule whenever you have a schedule developed. And definitely going to be interesting to see, though, who is going to walk away with heat number 2 victory. Jason Freeman on the inside, Lucarelli to his outside in the number 41 machine. Pace truck down on pit road. Green flag is in the air for heat number 2. Kind of a slow start for the whole field as they dive off into turn number 1. You can see your live timing and scoring there on the left-hand side of your screen. Let's keep an eye on Philip Scott in that number 8 machine. We saw a lot of the field up there near the wall in race number 1, but that number 8 machine, you saw him right there trying to dig on the inside groove, making good use of it too. That number 8 machine, he's got himself up into second. Well, he was up into second as the 41 machine of Lucarelli fights back to his outside. Definitely that number 41 machine trying to close in on Freeman. Remember, we saw Freeman at the end of that qualifying session have a little bit of an issue, so he's going to try and keep that number 20 machine in check here. He gets it yawed out. Meanwhile, looking at your live timing and scoring, you see back there Dave Harvey running in 5th. Vincent Valvano in the number 38 machine as a 20 machine. Might have been jumping that berm just a little bit. We'll see, of course, a lot of that in the feature race once the track really gets worn down. There's Vincent Valvano running down in 6th, and Matt Monticelli is rounding out your top 7 here in heat number 2. Great looking paint scheme on that number 84 Beavis and Butthead machine. I know a lot of work went into that paint scheme, so pretty cool to see that. Ryder Lee Angle says, go Philip, win that race, and rep NNL. I'll tell you what, Philip here running currently, and actually, did something happen to Philip Scott? He's possibly lost a couple of positions. He's back into 5th. Now we'll see if we can dial up a replay here and see if something did indeed happen to him, because this is a little bit ago, running down there on the inside in that number 8 machine. He was running 3rd at the time, and oh man, just looks like he got out of the groove a little bit, got the car just yawed out just a smidgen too much and lost the position to Dave Harvey and Nate Catilla. But now back live, there he is down. Actually, he's dropped again. He's now down to 7th. So Philip Scott not having a good time of it here in the heat race. Now the good news is this is just the heat race, so he can definitely work himself back up when we get to the feature race. Meanwhile, back up the front, it is Jason Freeman, that number 20 machine, just kind of scooting away just a little bit, up to a 2nd lead now over Lucarelli. Great job by the field. We haven't had a caution in either of these heat races, and hopefully we can keep it that way as this race goes on. I know that's one thing that some of the admins were a little bit concerned about, was having some cautions here, but as a driver last season here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, when we ran these ARCA cars, definitely they did a fantastic job of not having too many cautions. And I hope to see much of the same this year. Of course, a lot of these drivers love to see green flag racing. As you can see just how yawed out these cars are. You don't even see the 41 machine as the checkered flag is going to fly here for Jason Freeman. Coming out of the corner to the stripe, the 20 goes to the top here in heat number 2, right where he qualified. Looks like Lucarelli going to come across 2nd. Something happened to Matt Monticelli on the last lap. The number 84 machine looks like he's going to fall 1 lap down. Philip Scott here still working his way through turn number 3 and 4 up against the wall. You can see a little bit of right side damage, and folk, up and over goes Philip Scott. That's one way to get your name into the main race, and I'm sure he will have to go to a backup car, but we are going to have a little bit of a warm-up session here before we go into the main feature. And of course, one thing that we might be able to do is possibly talk to some of these drivers. Let's see if we can bring in one of them. Let's see if we can bring Jason Freeman in here. Hey Jason, this is Peter Short in the 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
Hey, yeah, you got me.
I do. Hey, man, definitely a good race for you there in your heat. What's the racetrack like?
Getting pretty slick there around the top, and I just tried to maintain my pace and keep my little bit of advantage over Tony there. And if he started to catch me, try to get back on a little bit, just keep the car together and make it to the feature.
Yeah, absolutely. How important is it going to be here tonight to kind of feel that top side out? Are you one of those drivers who've done a lot of dirt racing, or is this kind of foreign to you?
I mean, I've done some dirt racing on here, but I know I'm not one of the best guys when it comes to running the cushion. Do my best and see what we can do.
All right, we'll let you get to it, get you a little bit of track time here in this warm-up session, but best of luck in the main race. All right, well, that was Jason Freeman, and we'll let him out there on the racetrack in his machine. You can see here he is on board with him right now, going off into turn number 3 and 4. And really, Billy Thornton in that number 5 machine, lightning quick in the first heat. Will he be as quick in the feature race? You see him running right up there at the top of the racetrack, flirting with the outside wall. We're going to see a lot of that here tonight. But one driver that we, of course, need to focus on is Garrett Gleason in the number 7 machine. Of course, a huge Robbie Gordon fan. If you don't know Garrett Gleason, that's really one of the things you need to know about him. Kind of running a kind of a retro throwback to Robbie Gordon. Kind of a hodgepodge of Robbie Gordon schemes on that race car. Pretty cool to see that. Kind of a on one side, you kind of got a Menard scheme. In the middle, you kind of got the Speed Energy Orange, and then on the right-hand side, it kind of gives me the vibes of back in the day when you used to run the Fruit of the Loom car. So kind of cool to see that. Also got Woody Woodpecker on that number 7 scheme. So keep an eye on Garrett Gleason here tonight. And like I mentioned, you know, this Total Nonstop Racing League, we've had a lot of years where we didn't race. I mean, it's been 15 years. A lot of these drivers knew each other for 15 years. But that man right there in that number 7 machine, he was able to pull us back together. He had to dust off his steering wheel to get back out here on the racetrack. So really almost relearning how to race here this season. Got to give a huge shout out to some of our sponsors here tonight. You can see up there in the top left-hand corner of your screen, we've got Thornton Graphix. Make sure you go check out their Facebook link. There is a link in the description. Sometimes you have to hit the show more button, but you can check out Thornton Graphix there. And also Dunn Raceway Park, which is a premier indoor off-road RC racing facility up in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. They have an off-road carpet track for 1/10 scale electric vehicles. Very, very cool to see that. Definitely going to be something that if you're into RC cars, if you're in cars in general, man, those RC cars are absolutely cool. Ooh, the number 77 machine, that's Dave Harvey having a little bit of an issue coming out of turn number 3 there. But make sure you click their link as well. There's a link in the description. And if you yourself want to get involved in Total Nonstop Racing, there's also links in the description. There's a link to the Discord that you can, of course, join. And there's a link to the Facebook page. Oh man, a little bit of racing here. The number 6 machine there, Nate Catilla, kind of getting into there maybe just a little bit with the number 41 machine right behind him. That's Tony Lucarelli. Lucarelli yet to take a time here in this practice session. Running right down there on the inside. The number 8 machine, you saw him right there. That, of course, Philip Scott. He might have had enough of this practice session, but you can see on the left-hand side of your screen kind of just the intervals between the field. And again, up at the top, we have 5 cars within a 10th and a half. That's going to be very, very good for this race here when we go green here shortly, because the warm-up session is coming to an end. Checkered flag is going to be out. RC Plains, I think he enjoyed the flip there at the end of the heat number 2 there by the number 8 machine of Philip Scott, right early angle as well. Make sure you guys like and subscribe here to 3 Wide TV. We're going to be broadcasting all of the Total Nonstop Racing races this season. Of course, tonight just being round number 1. So definitely thank you guys for tuning in. But here's the good news, folks. 40-lap feature race. Caution laps do not count in this one, and we're about to get set to go green. You can see the field already starting to grid down there, and let's see if we can get our eyes on that front row. And there they are. The number 5 machine of Billy Thornton will roll up in first. Jason Freeman on the outside of row number 1. Cole Hahn and Tony Lucarelli will be starting on row number 2. Row number 3 on the inside, the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. Yes, he goes by the nickname Floppy. And to his outside, the number 77 of Dave Harvey. On the inside, row number 4, Jason Gracias. Keep an eye on that number 4 machine here tonight. The number 6 of Nate Catilla, very, very fast, both in the practice session and that warm-up session that we just had. He will have to work his way up from 8th if he wants to get up to the front. Starting on the inside of row number 5 is we got a little bit of fireworks there on the backstretch. Starting on the inside of row number 5, Austin Grover. Vincent Valvano will be rolling off in 10th. Tristan Maher in 11th. Philip Scott from 12th. And Garrett Gleason and Matt Monticelli will round out your 14-car grid here as these cars start to roll on the backstretch. But great to see all those fireworks there on the backstretch, kind of amping up all these drivers for what will be a 40-lap feature race here tonight. Well, folks, in the chat, definitely got to say, you know, as it looks like possibly Kyle Geveshausen having some health concerns. Hope you get better here soon, Kyle. And Jeremy Knut saying COVID sucks. Yes, it does, of course. Hopefully we can get all of this in the rear here soon and get back to normal everyday life. But for now, get well soon, Kyle, and hopefully we can see you out on the track here soon. Pace truck about to head down pit road here. And we're going to be green flag here, 40 laps around the Eldora Speedway here, slinging some dirt for the number 5 machine. Billy Thornton going to get out to a good jump, but look at the number 31 machine down there on the inside. He's going to try and use that inside. We got a contact a little bit further back. That's the 41 of Lucarelli getting into it, I think, with Dave Harvey. It looks like no harm, no foul between those drivers as they all work their way through turn number 3 and 4. Oh man, the number 4 machine, Jason Gracias, was well down below the bottom side of the racetrack. He's sliding back just a little bit here at the start of this race. Oh, contact there with the 83 of Grover, and oh, they've come to a stop on the backstretch. Caution flag is out, and we're gonna have to see that one here on the 3-wide TV replay, folks, because that definitely was a little bit of contact between these two right here. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened. It looked like the 83 might have just got yawed out just a smidgen too much, and boom, just into the inside wall. The good news is they are going to be okay, and they're going to be able to get back up to the field. As we are back live, the number 5 machine, Billy Thornton, been very, very quick. And as you can see up there in the top left-hand corner of your screen, hopefully that graphic stays correct here tonight. I'm a little bit concerned about that graphic and whether or not the lap counter will stay right as this race goes on. But at least for now, it appears to be correct as the field is waiting for the Chevy Silverado pace truck to make its way back up to Billy Thornton. You can see the front nose of your heat number 2 winner there, Jason Freeman. Back behind him, there's the number 31 of Cole Hahn, and here comes that Chevy Silverado pace truck just mowing its way through the field. And now it's going to be up at the front. Looking out back of Mike Tellier's machine, there's the 41 of Lucarelli. Great looking paint scheme on that Impala right there. Behind them, there's Nate Catilla on the number 6 machine. Remember, he started back in 8th. Now he's running up in the 6th position. Behind him is Dave Harvey in the Hisense Toyota Camry. That's a very Dave Harvey scheme. If you know Dave Harvey and you've been following him for many, many years, well, I gotta say, that is a Dave Harvey scheme to full effect. And right behind him, there is Philip Scott. And rounding out your top 10 right now, the number 38 machine of Vincent Valvano. Running the Valvoline scheme, which I think is absolutely awesome, kind of a tie-in there with his name. And behind him, rounding out your 14-car field, Garrett Gleason, Matt Monticelli, Jason Gracias, Austin Grover, Tristan Maher. But folks, just like that, we're back to green flag action at Eldora. Great action there mid-pack. Look at this, almost 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. The 41 machine getting completely sideways. That's Tony Lucarelli. And this is some great action. Look at Catilla trying to use that middle groove, trying to make that middle groove work. We haven't seen all too much of that. He's trying to get around Mike Tellier there in the number 97. We're 3 wide. And no, we have a caution flag that has come out here at Eldora. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened here to bring out this caution, because I'm not 100% sure even I know what brought out this caution, because it must have... Whoa, I know what brought out this caution. Let's see if we can go back and see exactly what happened here. Coming out of turn number 3 here, a little bit of contact there between Monticelli and the number 7 of Gleason. And hopefully Gleason did not get stuck in the wall. No, he was able to get that thing backed up and reversed. And he will get back underway here. Let's see if we can get one more look at that number 7 machine. Here we go, going off into the corner, and just like that, into the inside wall. One more look here from high atop the blimp cam, just so you can see this contact, and boom, just enough to send Gleason down into the inside wall. Good news is I don't think there will be all too much damage on that race cart. So that's the good news. But the other news is that the field already doubling up here for the restart. These restarts here go by or caution laps, I should say, go by very quickly. Now we do have 38 laps to go. Pace car lights are off. There it goes down pit road. Race in the hands of the number 5 machine. And let's see if we can go on board with the number 20 machine of Jason Freeman as he looks out front. Let's see if we can see out. How about that as the field races their way? Coming off the corner. Oh, that's contact. I think that's Catilla and the 41 machine possibly getting into it. Not the first time we've seen those two racing hard with one another. Oh, Dave Harvey there in the 77 machine. Big slide coming out of the corner. And oh, Catilla, he's up on the inside. Contact with the number 8 machine. And Catilla going to spin up into the outside wall. Caution flag in the air here once again at Eldora. Well, let's see if we can get another look at this one, because this one definitely contact here between the 8 and the 6. The 6 and just the coming together there. Not really much blame you can put on that one. That's kind of just a racing deal. You see that a lot. Unfortunately, Grover there right at the end having a little bit of an issue himself. But let's see if we can get possibly one more look at this one. So this is going to go back. This is the rubbing that we saw on the backstretch between the 41 and the 6. Now watch the 8. He gets such a good run. That's Scott on the high side getting that run. There you see Harvey in his trouble. Damn, man, just a little bit of a nudge. Maybe Catilla didn't get the word from his spotter that there was a car on the outside. The good news for Catilla, though, is he's going to get back on his 4 wheels. That would definitely be not what you'd want to see if he was not able to get back onto 4 wheels. And we'll see just how long it will be until the pace truck lights turn off. We're still single file here. Meanwhile, Cole Haan in the number 31 machine, he's got himself up into second. It looks like Jeremy Canute asking for a little bit of in-car action. We'll give that to you here on this restart here. We got a couple of cams here tonight on board these machines. Of course, we got the gyro cam that you see right there. Then we kind of have the nose cam right atop on the roof. That's akin to those EA Sports days. And we also have the driver cam. That's the helmet cam. And just to top all things off, we kind of got the roll bar cam right here. In fact, this is what we're going to go on board, because you can see the pace truck lights are off. Cole Haan now going to try and get a restart behind the number 5 machine. As you might have noticed, we are now going to a single file restart, and here goes the number 31 machine. He's running just a little bit lower on the racetrack. We saw him do that. Is he going to get a run on your race leader? No, he won't, as we head down the backstretch. In fact, Haan going to have a pretty good jump over the number 20 of Freeman. There's Tellier there running a little bit further back. Good battle here back around Lucarelli. Look at Philip Scott now in the number 8 machine. Remember, he did not have a good heat race, finishing 6 out of 7, but now he's got himself moving up towards the front of the field as Harvey continues to struggle in that 77 machine a little bit further back. Got some good battles back here. That's Jason Gracias, the big red machine, and that is a Jason Gracia scheme, folks. So just like I mentioned, Garrett Gleason is running a very Garrett Gleason scheme, and Dave Harvey running a very Dave Harvey scheme, if you've known him for long. Well, this right here is akin to the scheme that Jason Gracias used to run back in the day. It used to be a Dodge, but now it's kind of got a Chevy look to it, but it does say Charger on the nose. But that is the scheme that I grew up racing against with Jason Gracias. Oh, big slide back there. That was Nate Catilla in the number 6 machine having a slide there in turn number 1 and 2. He's struggling to get the power down right now in that machine. Let's see if we can go on board. You see he's down on the inside groove. A couple of the other drivers up on the high side, and looks like he's going to get himself back up to the high side now. That's where you want to be. Great job here by Catilla to keep that car pointed forward. Meanwhile, a little bit further back up near the front is he's going to get into the outside wall. We're going to focus on this battle right here. This is a battle between Scott and Tellier, and Philip Scott's going to take it in that number 8 machine. So move Scott up into the top 5. Good run for him. And oh, the 41 there of Lucarelli bouncing off the outside wall. Not the first time we've seen that here tonight, but I'm starting to see some interesting things out of the 20 and the number 31 machine. We caught a quick glimpse of them there. They look like they're running a little bit lower in the racetrack, especially Jason Freeman trying to find some grip here. I mentioned it that this racetrack has a tendency to change, and you can just see that high line, how much that high line has changed. You see that big black stripe up there around the racetrack. That's where the racetrack really starting to slick off. You can see your number 5 machine, though, Billy Thornton, really running that high line to its full advantage. Here's the rest of the field. Look at Tellier down on the right-hand corner of your screen. He's still trying to run down there. But we're starting to really see a couple of these drivers try different lines. And it seems like right now it's really working out for the number 8 machine here, Scott. He's stuck up to the outside wall. Ooh, almost hitting the outside wall. Did hit the outside wall. Bounces off it. Gets back down the racetrack and just trying to get that power down. So definitely great to see this. You're not missing anything up at the front. The number 5 machine of Thornton now getting himself up into some lap traffic. However, he's already put the number 7 down a lap, but a caution flag has come out here. And we'll see what we can do. See if we can figure out exactly what happened out there on the racetrack. And folks, it looks like possibly might have happened here with the number 38 machine. This is Valvano running the Valvoline scheme. Oh, it happened in front of him. Oh, big contact there. The 20, the 17, and the 4. So I take that back. That's that tough brakes situation that I mentioned earlier. And the number 20 machine was very, very quick out there on the racetrack. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened to him here. Here he is, coming out of turn number 2, so he's running in the 3rd position at this present moment in time. Going off into turn number 3 and 4, right down there on the bottom, slides up the racetrack, gets up into that really slick portion of the racetrack, puts too much power down, loses control of it, and just watch how difficult it is to put on the brakes. Ooh, Harvey there getting just a piece of it. Ooh, the 4 of Gracias just able to come to a halt. The 20 comes down the racetrack just a little bit, nowhere for Valvano and the number 17 machine of Tristan Mayer to go. Those drivers definitely getting a tough break there. Let's see if we can go back just a little bit here and see what happened from above. So this is, I think, coming out of turn number 4, trying to put the brakes on and just nowhere for them to go. Like I mentioned, very difficult with these brakes on these race cars. To get these things ground to a halt, you just slide on the brakes, especially if you lock them up. And I'm pretty sure a couple of those drivers did lock up those tires, and that's exactly what happens. But that puts us under caution here tonight. Like you can see up there in the top left-hand corner of the screen, good news is the lap counter is working well. And we're going to be going back to green here because the pace car is going to pull off. Race back in the hands of the number 5 machine of Billy Thornton. Let's see if we can look out back of that machine as he begins to pull away from the field. There you go. You can just see a couple of them on the right-hand corner of your screen. Gotta say, this number 5 machine so far been stellar here tonight, but whoa, big problems there for Han, excuse me, in that number 31 machine. Is he off the pace? I don't know what happened to him. He might be coming down pit road. He is coming down pit road. He hits the tire barriers on entry to pit road. Very easy to do here, and that will actually bring out the caution. So is he going to pull off the racetrack? Looks like he will. Might be night done for the number 31 machine. Let's see if we can go back just a little bit, make sure he didn't miss a shift or something like that, because that is definitely very interesting to see. Here he is working his way through turn number 1 and 2. This is just after the restart, and it just sounds like he just loses power in that race car and just kind of grinds to a halt. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened here on entry to pit road. It's a very difficult pit road to get onto because it's so... Oh, something else happened up there in front. That's going to be an interesting one to digest. So let's see if we can go back maybe even a little bit further. Maybe that wasn't what brought out the caution, because there appears to possibly have been some issues here around Tellier and the number 8 machine. Tellier on the high side, the 8 of Scott right there. No, yes, Scott went around off the nose of Tellier, and right in front of Graphix there in the 4 machine getting involved once again. Tough break there for Graphix. Let's see if we can get another look at this one. Let's see if we can see this from high atop the Blimpkin. So Jason Graphix there on the high side. You can see just out of the corner of your picture now, there's the 8 machine going around, and boom, just a little bit of contact. So good job there by the field to slow down for that one. But that is going to put us back under caution here around Eldora. Back live, pace truck lights have once again turned off. Things happening pretty much thick and fast here. I couldn't even get the ticker up under that last restart. So let's see if we can get it up for the start of this one, because the pace truck is going to be headed down pit road. Thornton in the race lead, Lucarelli in second, Dave Harvey in third. And look at Nate Catilla, fastest in practice, fastest in the warm-up session. He's now up into 4th position. What about Vincent Valvano in the number 38 machine, now inside the top 5? King Canute says, and the goodies award goes to, well, King Canute, tell us. Oh, we got problems further back in the pack. I guess, Jeremy, you have to let me know how, who got that goodies award, but Dave Harvey has gone around. Let's see if we can dial up this one, because this is what brought out this caution. Remember, he was up into 3rd. Oh, might have been a little bit of help there from Nate Cattell. That number 77 machine going around, and oh, heavy contact there with Valvano, who just got himself up into the top 5. So tough break for a couple of these drivers who trying to get their way back up to the front. Let's see if we can see this contact between the 6 and the 77. Yeah, just a little bit of a nudge right there. And unfortunately, 77 goes around and nowhere for the number 38 machine to go. Looks like Dave Harvey is going to lose his front bumper in that collision as well. So definitely not what he wanted to have happen for him here tonight. But meanwhile, back up at the front, it's still Billy Thornton in the number 5 machine. These drivers still have enough fuel to make it to the end. Let's see, how's the chat doing here tonight? And King Canute saying the goodies award goes to the driver who ran into the pit wall. Yeah, absolutely. That was Cole Hahn in the number 31 machine. Now he is back out there on the racetrack, folks, in the 14th position. You can see him a little bit further back. Live timing and scoring kind of putting him quite a bit behind your race leader. We'll see how it sorts out. Looks like he might be getting the lucky dog here. No, not sure how that's all working out. Looks like live timing and scoring continuing to update. It's a little bit funky here due to the fact that these laps don't tick off sequentially. Live timing and scoring kind of freaks out when you go across the start-finish line and you don't complete a lap. So we'll leave the ticker bar up there in the top left-hand corner of your screen just to wait until we go back to green. The green flag has actually been delayed. We were going to go back to green flag this lap, but looks like the pace truck lights have stayed on here. Dirt Dogger 93 saying, Gleason wants Stuart Friesen to put manners on Thornton for you and that car. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that number 5 machine is very, very quick out there here tonight. Already put Garrett Gleason a lap down. Looks like Gleason's going to get the Lucky Dog Award, get himself back on the lead lap, and looks like Hahn and the 31 machine will go around as well. So hopefully that works out for them. Hopefully we can get a couple of these cars back out there on the racetrack. Let's see, let's make sure we're live out there. Looks like, well, you know what? We might not have been live, folks. We might have actually had another caution here. I saw the live timing and scoring go quickly green and then go not green. So I'm not 100% sure what happened here. But, well, it looks like, not 100% sure. It looks like we might have quickly gone back to green and now we're back under yellow. Maybe the 84 machine there a little bit off the pace. That is Matt Monticelli. Let's see if we can see if something did happen here to Monticelli. Looks like we still have 21 more laps to go, so we're closing in on the halfway mark here tonight. And something did happen to Monticelli. Looks like we did get back to green flag racing, so this was coming, I believe, to the green flag coming out of turn number 4. And a little bit of contact there, and the 8 machine of Scott getting involved, the 84 getting involved, and Garrett Gleason in the number 7 machine. Man, he might need to go to Menards for a whole front clip on that number 7 machine, because it looks like Gleason going to get a hefty chunk of damage. You see that right front suspension completely broken. He's going to have to take a tow back to pit road. So tough break here for a couple of your drivers out there on the racetrack. But meanwhile, back up at the front, looks like pace truck lights have turned off. The racetrack is nice and clean once again. So hopefully we can get a little bit of green flag running in here after a little bit of a caution fest here in the middle portion of the race. Of course, it's a 40-lap feature. Caution laps do not count here tonight. Got to give a huge shout out to some of our sponsors. Dunn Raceway, Park Premier Indoor Off-Road RC Racing Facility located in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, as well as Thornton Graphix. Make sure you hit their Facebook links in the description. But we're back to green flag racing, and Billy Thornton is leading the way in that number 5 machine over Tony Lucarelli in the number 41. Nate Catilla now got himself up into the top 3. He's on the podium. And what about Austin Grover in the number 83 machine, as we got some good racing here a little bit further back. Valvano there in the number 38 machine. His hood's flapping around. Hopefully that hood will stay down, not go over the front driver windshield as this race goes on. And what about Jason Freeman in the number 20 machine, as I think we just, looked like we had a flying hood as contact between the 38 and the 97. And that was Mike Tellier who went around there. Let's see if we can catch this one here on the replay. Coming out of turn number 2. Wow, there was a flying hood off of Valvano's machine, and looks like Grover might have hit the wall. Valvano went down the racetrack to avoid, and Philip Scott involved as well. Dave Harvey might have just caught a piece of that number 38 machine as well in that one. So tough break for some of these drivers. Now let's see if we can see what happened here. So the 38 machine looks like he might have, 83 of Grover might have hit the outside wall. The 38 reacts, then comes down. The 97 is there, and then the number 8 machine a little bit further back. And unfortunately, a couple of those drivers involved in that one. So we'll be back under caution. Now we were able to click off a couple of laps in this one, so that's the good news. But the field back under caution. Pace truck lights are on. So definitely looks like that number 5 machine of Thornton is the car to beat here tonight, folks. Definitely been strong all night so far. Led every single lap as Dave Harvey and the number 77 machine looks like he's going to head down pit road as of right now. Let's see if we can get a shot on that number 77 machine. There he is. He's coming into his pit box. Now, at least last season, these drivers did get one fast repair, and there you saw it. The number 77 machine did use a fast repair, so he's going to get back out there on the racetrack with a new car, completely new car. No damage on that race machine, but we're going to go back to green flag racing because the pace truck going to head down pit road. There it goes. And we're back to green flag racing here at Eldora. The number 5 machine of Thornton going to lead us back to green. Lucarelli in second, and Nate Catilla and that number 6 machine. We've seen him up and down. Great recovery for the number 6 machine as he dives to the inside of Lucarelli. Catilla trying to dig on the inside. Now, will we see a slide job coming out of the corner? We might. They're side by side. They're also side by side back behind them. Catilla couldn't get the drive out of the corner. Look at Freeman in the 20 machine. He's trying to do the slide job on the number 83 of Grover. They're going to be almost 3 wide coming onto the backstretch. Look at the number 17 of Tristan Meyer. We haven't talked about him all too much here tonight in that Pennzoil number 17 machine, but he's trying to put together a solid run here now up inside the top 5, cutting off the number 83 of Grover, but can't count out the number 31 of Hahn. Remember, he was the one who came down pit road. Not 100% sure if he lost power in that race machine. Contact between the 83 and the 17. This is the best battle out on the racetrack right now. Looks like the 31 of Hahn will take that position. Meanwhile, up towards the front, there is Catilla in the number 6 machine. He's under fire from Jason Freeman. Freeman in that cornhole number 20 machine. He's a cornhole player himself. On contact a little bit further back in the pack. That number 83 machine has gone around the number 4 of Gracias as well. Let's see if we can see this one on the replay. And, oh, just there coming out of turn number 4. Let's see if we can go back maybe just a little bit. Excuse me, turn number 2. Go back a little bit further. It looks like Grover got skewed out. No, just coming together. That's what you see at these dirt tracks. And, oh, my gosh, who was that? Someone with a completely flopped up hood. You know, I'll have to see who exactly that was, because someone out there on the racetrack has a bent up front end. There's a couple of these cars now with a bent up front end, and there it is. That's Vincent Valvano, folks, in the Valvoline machine. Looks like he needs to come down for a quick oil change on that machine. A lot of damage on that race car, and has a front end that's all smashed in, and the front hood up against the windshield. Not quite sure how he's going to be able to see out of that one. Kyle Geveshouse saying had some good green flag racing under that little segment that we had right there. Yeah, we did. Definitely a little bit of 3-wide action, some side-by-side battles. Definitely good to see. And hopefully we can see that here as this race goes on. Looking on the left-hand side of your screen, as yeah, you can just see that live timing and scoring. Kind of has a difficult time updating as these drivers go across the start-finish line and the lap count doesn't change, but it seems to sort itself out. The good news is up at the front, the pace truck lights have turned off. We're going to get set to go back to green flag action here shortly. Just look how much that track has changed there in turn number 3 and 4. That black line very much prevalent here around this racetrack, but green flag is in the air, and the number 5 machine will get us back to green. Look at Nate Catilla fighting that number 6 machine going over the ruts that are starting to form out there on the racetrack. Here is the number 20 machine of Freeman trying to dig on the inside. Let's see if we can go on board with that number 20 machine. Remember, he had some difficulty getting the power down coming out of turn number 4 a little while ago. Not able to get it down this time, as he's going to stay behind the number 6 machine. But it looks like we have another caution here around the racetrack. We'll see who it might have been this time that brought out this caution. I believe it happened a little bit further back. Here's Valvano, the number 38 machine, up in that slick stuff. Whoa, a little bit of contact there with the number 8 machine of Scott. And Valvano get turned around. I'm sure he thinks that he has a target on his back here tonight at Eldora. As you can see, quite a bit of damage on that number 38 machine. Now, not 100% sure whether or not he's used his fast repair or not in that race machine. If he hasn't used his fast repair, he can actually come down and get a new race car, which might be a good thing to do here in the closing laps. Tires are also somewhat important here on this racetrack, especially as the track slicks down. I'm surprised we haven't seen many more cars on pit road to get some fresh tires, because they do matter at this racetrack, like I said. And especially if you're one of those drivers a little bit further back in the pack, like Valvano, Grover, Gracias, Monticelli, Philip Scott. Definitely, I think I would gamble. Come down pit road, take 2 tires under this caution. Next caution, if we get another caution, take 2 more tires. And just kind of cycle those tires just a little bit. See if it can give you just a little bit more grip here. Of course, we've only had 27 green flag laps. We're only counting green flag lap here tonight at the Eldora Speedway. But the good news is the pace truck lights have turned off once again. We're going to get set to go back to green flag action. And there you can see your lineup for this restart. Unfortunately, Garrett Gleason in the number 7 machine. Remember, we saw that right front suspension completely broken. There he is. Looks like it will be a DNF for the league owner and organizer Garrett Gleason here tonight, which is a huge shame. But the good news is out there on the racetrack, the green flag is flying once again. Nate Catilla still sitting in the 3rd position, but look at Jason Freeman in the number 20 machine. Slide job on the number 6. A little bit of contact coming out of the corner. Contact. And that's going to allow the 31 machine of Han to possibly pull the slide job on the 20 machine. He's sideways. He's way sideways. Just like that. Tristan Murr in the number 17 machine, and contact again. Action all over this racetrack. The contact was there with Mike Floppy Tellier, and now contact again, the number 17 machine and the 31 having it coming together, folks. This is the most action we have seen all night long. The lap count is winding down here at Eldora. The track continuing to slick down, and oh, contact there, the 6 and the 17, and the 17's around, and the 17's on his roof. Almost on his roof. He was on his nose, and the 97 of Mike Tellier involved as well. But folks, we're going to have to see if we can dial up the 3-wide TV replay on this one. Here is Mike Tellier. Let's see if we can go to the nose cam, because this tells the story. There's the initial contact with the 6 and the 17, and Tellier there just gets turned around. And man, I'm kind of curious to see possibly the number 17 machine here. Let's see if we could go on board on the gyro cam. This is going to be an interesting view, because he comes up the racetrack. There's the contact from the number 6, puts him into the outside wall. Looking at the ground is not something you want to see at any racetrack. And a tough break there for Mayer, because he just got himself up inside the top 5. And that machine was definitely working his way forward in that race car. We'll have to see whether or not he can bounce back from this one. You can see quite a bit of damage on that number 17 machine. Valvano in front of him hasn't come down to use a fast repair, so I'm not saying he's out of fast repairs. That's probably the reason why Garrett Gleason's still sitting on pit road. He must have used a fast repair earlier in that race car. Remember, he was 1 lap down at one point, did get the lucky dog, but unfortunately, once he got back on the lead lap, didn't last all too long, but we're down to only 10 laps to go. And Dirt Dogger 93 says, it's like watching Penn Can. LOL. Logie Bears and running in the 90s. And Ryder Lee Angle, who saying, I feel like someone needs to break out the initial D music for all this drifting. Yeah, they're drifting their way around the racetrack. That is for sure. We're about to go back to green flag action, so more drifting is on hand here in just a brief moment. Billy Thornton getting us back to green. He's led every single lap. And hopefully we now go across the stripe. And he's going to try and pull away from the number 41 machine. But we've seen a great battle brewing for the 3rd position. Cole Haan in that race car right there. He got himself up into 3rd. Nate Catilla right behind him. Look at Catilla and the 20. Getting close together right there. Oh, Catilla's in the outside wall. The number 6 machine going around. Caution flag is in the air. And oh, man, the 77 machine of Harvey. He just used the fast repair. He just got clipped in that one. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened here. So this is Catilla. This is coming out of turn number 2. Down the back stretch. Into turn number 3 and 4. He's battling there for that position. Very, very hard there with Freeman. Gets into the outside wall, just gets on that slick stuff. And folks, that slick stuff, if you hit it at the wrong angle, you are going to be turned up into the wall, but by your own doing. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened there for Nate Catilla. And he's now going to be mired back in the pack, which is a tough break for him. I know we did have Fernando Matos in the chat here, rooting on that number 6 machine of Nate Catilla. They are friends, of course. Friends to the 3-wide television channel as well. They used to run in one of the series that we used to broadcast here on 3-wide TV. So great to see them jumping over into the Total Nonstop Racing League. Hope to see both of them on track this season. There you can see, it looks like Catilla and Mike Tellier both electing to use their fast repair. Looks like Tellier's going to win the race off pit road in that machine. And it looks like we still have the pace truck lights are off. So we'll have I think 8 laps to go when we go back green flag here shortly. Jason Gracias saying, hi, Mom. Hopefully your mom is tuned in and enjoying tonight's broadcast. I'm sure Jason's mom remembers him racing back in the day, probably over 10 years ago now, back when we used to run the NASCAR Racing 2003 season game. Definitely was a precursor to iRacing, and a lot of drivers slowly transitioned over to iRacing, and some drivers didn't. And a lot of these drivers here in Total Nonstop Racing League who kind of just now getting back into it. Drivers like Garrett Gleason and Kyle Geveshausen, hopefully you're doing all right in the chat, as well as Jeremy Canute and others. But the green flag is back out, so let's put our focus back out there on the racetrack. Meanwhile, one driver we really got to keep our eye on is this man right here, of Jason Freeman. He won his heat here prior to the feature race, and he's really the only driver trying to use that inside groove, and it's not to any avail because here comes the number 8 machine of Scott, and Scott's going to take that position. Not so fast. Contact there between the 20 and the 8. Oh, Freeman, what a save out of that number 20 machine. Oh, up in front of Gracias. Gracias in the big red machine trying to do battle. Now there's Tristan Mayer in the number 17 machine. Quite a gap back between these two right here. Ooh, I think Valvano there on the top of your screen was in the outside wall. We are back under caution, and we'll try and figure out exactly what happened here. It's Catilla and the number 77 again having it coming together. The 6 and the 77 and the 77 in the outside wall. Let's see if we can get one more look at this one. You see the 77 got loose coming out of turn number 2 from high atop Catilla. Oh, Catilla got into the outside wall, and the 77 drifts up a little bit. They make that contact, and just like that, the 77, bang, into the outside wall. And I think this is the second caution in a row that Dave Harvey has unfortunately been involved in. So we'll have to see, hopefully, whether or not he can get that number 77 pointed in the right direction again. And folks, I believe that's the number 8 machine who has a flopping hood now. We've seen it out of Valvano here tonight, but now Philip Scott having a little bit of issues in that race machine. So hopefully that front hood could stay down. Throwing some sparks now off of the left side of that machine. Not 100% sure what that is. Maybe it's a ticking time bomb. I don't know. But hopefully the number 8 machine can make it to the finish. Looks like Freeman there in the number 20 saying, hey, bud, you're throwing some sparks out of that machine. And just like that, seems like it has possibly remedied itself. So that's a little bit of good news. But looks like the pace truck lights have turned off. So we only have 5 laps to go. So if we can go caution-free here, it won't be all too long before this race comes to a conclusion here at Eldora. This is round 1 of the Total Nonstop Racing series. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you don't miss us next week here for more Total Nonstop Racing action at Darlington. But we still have a winner to crown here tonight. The pace truck going to head down pit road, and Billy Thornton on the loud pedal once again. And we're back to green flag action as he dives off into turn number 1. Haven't really focused on the number 5 machine as, ooh, oh man, the Philip Scott in the number 8 machine. He's bouncing off the outside wall, and the number 31 of Hans now going to get himself up into a podium position. And can't count out Freeman down there on the inside. Oh, contact Freeman, what a save. No, he spins back up the racetrack. Caution flag back in the air. I thought he had that number 20 machine save. Let's go back and see exactly what happened here. Don't really have a great camera angle in turn number 3 and 4. Maybe we can catch it here with our turn number 4 camera. Yeah, there you go. There's the contact in the 20 machine. He just got in a little bit of a tank slapper after that contact with Han, and unfortunately he's going to get that machine turned around. But he gets the point to turn around once again and back to going straight. So that's the good news. Well, there you see Valvano and the number 38 machine. He doesn't have a hood anymore. He's also throwing a few sparks out the back of that machine right there. I know iRacing recently implemented a new damage model to these cars. It isn't exactly perfect. RC Planes rooting on Philip Scott. Well, yeah, now he's in a good position. He's up to the 4th spot now. Maybe he can walk away with a podium. Now, here on 3YTV, we do usually bring in our top 3 finishers for a post-race interview. So hopefully we can do that here tonight and figure out which of these drivers will go to victory lane. I gotta say, it's going to take a valiant effort for the field to beat this man right here. So far, led every single lap of his heat, led every single lap of the feature race. Billy Thornton, Tony Lucarelli going to be restarting here in second in just a little bit. There you see your lineup here for the restart, all the way down to Jason Freeman, who was trying to get a top 5 finish here tonight. Going to be really difficult for him now, well back in the pack. We've got a lot of race cars out there with some pretty heavy damage. This is actually the first time the Total Nonstop Racing League has come to a dirt track, so I'm not 100% surprised to see a lot of these guys just kind of getting their feet wet with dirt in the iRacing surface. But looks like here in just a little bit, the pace truck going to be peeling down pit road once again. And we've definitely seen some good side-by-side action. We've seen these drivers trying different grooves out there. We're going to see it here again as a 41 of Lucarelli smacked it off the wall there on the front stretch. Very difficult to get the power down. And folks, I don't think any of these drivers are full throttle, but the caution flag is going to come out once again. We have another car possibly turned around. We'll see if we can see what happened here. I think it happened possibly a little bit further back in the pack. Let's see if we can ride on board here with Austin Grover. And oh, it happened right there. Mike Tellier going off into the inside wall. And oh, and then Nate Catilla going up into the wall and contact there. I saw that contact there between the number 6. But we're going to have to go back just a little bit further to see if we can see what happened here with Mike Tellier. So we're 3 wide there at Eldora and just contact there. 3 wide on entry to Eldora with these ARCA cars. Very, very difficult. Mike Tellier got a heavy piece of that inside wall. Good news is that number 97 machine is still running. So we'll have to see how it all sorts out here when we go back to green flag here shortly. But we're back live now at Eldora, and this race will be extended really for what will be a green-white checkered of sorts as the field works their way down the backstretch. Look at how many of these cars have damage. Good job there, really, by Thornton in the number 5 to keep his car clean. I mean, there's not a scratch on that number 5 machine. Can't really say the same for the rest of the field. A couple of these drivers have used the fast repair. Some of them have. Tony Lucarelli in the number 41 machine, currently running in the 2nd position. He doesn't have all too much damage on that car. The 31 of Han, I think he's used a fast repair on that race machine. Not 100% sure. And then you have Philip Scott. Very damaged race car. Jason Gracias in 5th. He's used a fast repair here tonight. Then the 17 behind him of Meyer. But the good news is we're about to go back to green flag racing here at Eldora. We'll bring up the live timing and scoring on the left-hand side of your screen, and the green flag waves once again. Just 2 more laps to go around this famed short track, and look at the 31 machine of Han and the 8 machine of Philip Scott. He's in the outside wall, bounces it off. He's going to lose a position to Gracias and might lose another position back up at the front. Will be white flag this time by for this man right here, the number 5 of Thornton. Can Lucarelli catch him? What about a little bit further back in the pack? Look at Han in the number 31 machine. We won't see another caution once the white flag waves in iRacing. That is it. Han trying to get the power down. Lucarelli trying to get the power down. The number 5 machine of Thornton, he's going to come out of the final corner to take home win number 1 of the season. But behind them, Lucarelli and Han in a battle for 2nd. It looks like Lucarelli's going to take it. Boom! Contact the 8 and the 17 having to come together across the start-finish line. Scott's going to take 5th. Myers spinning down into the inside wall is going to come home in 6th. What a finish a little bit further back in the pack by Oh My folks. And I'll tell you what a huge win for that man right there in the number 5 machine, because he's going to go to victory lane here at Eldora as the fireworks once again on the back straight, as all the drivers going to work their way down to their pit stall. An action-packed race here tonight in the Total Nonstop Racing League. That is exactly what I expect to see, as the number 5 machine right there looks like he's going to try and do a little bit of a burnout here on the front stretch for the fans here at Eldora Speedway. I'll tell you what, definitely a great showing for the number 5 machine. Logie Bear saying GG. Yeah, definitely GG. That was a great run to the finish. And Jeremy Canute saying such domination. Congrats, Thornton. Definitely all the chat jumping in here, congratulating that man right there of Billy Thornton. But we're going to talk to our top 3 finishers here tonight, hopefully, of Han, Lucarelli, and Thornton in that order. Let's see if we can step away for just a brief moment. We'll get things up for you with some post-race interviews here on 3Y TV. Bear with me. All right, welcome back here to Three Wide TV, folks. This race has definitely come to a conclusion. I'm joined up here in the Three Wide TV booth with your second place finisher here tonight, Tony Lucarelli. And Tony, we didn't get to run any dirt last season here in Total Nonstop Racing, but here tonight, a little bit of dirt action. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, these cars are pretty crazy on the dirt. They don't handle very well with the tire selection, but yeah, I mean, basically, you just try and stay in your one line, and that's all I did, and managed to come out on second.
Well, definitely a good start to the season for you and that number 41 team. I mean, you had a good season last year, or last season, I should say, but building off a little bit of momentum to start off the season here in the first round. We go to Darlington next week. What are your thoughts about Darlington?
I mean, that's, right to the pavement, and you're still riding the wall, so hopefully, I'm hoping I can get a good finish there. I'm still a little bit in the learning process on the pavement side, but I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, you definitely picked up a Darlington stripe or two here tonight at Eldora, or maybe an Eldora stripe. But definitely a good start to your race here tonight and good start to your season. Before we let you go, you got any shout outs for us?
Yeah, definitely got to shout out the whole TNR thing for putting this together. A couple of my sponsors, NEPA Cornhole, NEPA Dent Repair, DRP, and Thornton Graphix for sponsoring this series. And thanks to 3Y TV for putting on the broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tony, I hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and maybe we'll get to see you again up here in the booth here next week at Darlington.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you.
All right. Well, folks, that is your second place finisher here tonight. Let's see if we can dial up this man right here, your third place finisher of Cole Haan. We tried to get him here just a little bit ago. Cole Haan, Peter Short and 3Y TV booth. You get a copy. That's Cole Haan. This is Peter Short up in 3Y TV booth. Got a copy. Well, doesn't look like we can dial up your third place finisher here tonight, but that man right there, Cole Haan, started third, finished third. Definitely a good run to start off his season here in Total Nonstop Racing. But let's see if we can dial up tonight's race winner, the number 5 machine of Billy Thornton, because I'll tell you what, he was very, very quickly, very, very quick out there on the racetrack. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like he is in the group of drivers to pick up. So definitely a bit of a bummer there. But the number 5 machine, Billy Thornton, going to victory lane here at Eldora to start off the 2020 season. Let's see if we can possibly dial up another driver out there on the racetrack. League owner and organizer Garrett Gleason and driver of the number 7 machine, Garrett. Peter Short up here in 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Peter. What's up?
Well, man, it's a great start to the season. We're back on dirt, and I know you wanted to defend your crown here at Eldora. It wasn't quite your night, but we have a huge season lined up for season number 2, as well as a couple of series sponsors. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect in season 2.
Well, I hope we can expect some more green flag racing, that's for sure. But I hope we put on at least a good show, even if it was a comedy sense. We have Billy Thornton and his 2 businesses, Thornton Graphix and Dunn Raceway Park. If you're into RC or you need some graphics work done, Billy's your guy. He's going to sponsor our prize for the season. Should be a nice trophy. And next week we're going to Darlington. That should be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be a great race next week when we go to Darlington. I absolutely love that racetrack. Definitely one of my most favorite racetracks in all of NASCAR. But I'll tell you what, we got a season, a mid-season race, excuse me, so I get everything tongue-tied. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect in that mid-season race, a little bit of money on the line.
Yes, sir. And I hope you guys at 3 Wide TV will take care of the broadcast for that. But we're supposed to have a win G money, which is, they call me G money sometimes. Well, the cool people do. And we're supposed to have that race right in the midpoint of our season at the Charlotte Dirt Track. And it's cash prize to the winner, kind of like the old All-Star race. I don't have $1 million, but I figure like $100 or so will do.
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely going to be something a lot of these drivers will have their mind on here tonight. Jeremy Canute in the chat as well. Gee, let's see if Jeremy has any questions for you here tonight. But Garrett, it's great to be back here racing with the Total Nonstop Racing guys. I mean, I mentioned it a couple times here tonight that I have known you and a couple of these drivers out here on the racetrack for 15 years or so. And of course, now we're racing in iRacing. We're not NASCAR racing 2003. I mean, we're not back in the EA Sports days. We're in iRacing, and it's definitely something different. Tell us a little bit about adjusting back to racing and dusting off your wheel.
Oh man, Peter, it's been the most rewarding thing I've done in my life to be able to get these guys back together to start this league back up. And the fact that I messaged everybody and everybody was ready to come back with open arms. Can I help, G? Can I do this? Can I do that? It means the world to me. And I am one of the very few people on earth that remembers you when you were slow on track, Peter. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. My first race, I'll always remember my first ever sim race. My first ever online sim race was with Total Nonstop Racing. We were at Delaware Speedway, not Dover, Delaware. No, Delaware Speedway up in Canada, and I got absolutely smoked in that race. But definitely, Total Nonstop Racing has a little piece of my heart, and especially in the sim racing community. But Garrett, I know you got a couple of series sponsors. I'll let you give them one more shout out before I let you go. Doesn't look like anyone in the chat has any other questions for you, so let's hear those shout outs.
Well, first of all, let me thank you, Peter, and the 3Y TV guys for the broadcast. I hope, again, that we had some views, and I'm sure I'm going to watch it back, and I'm sure you did a great job. And huge thank you to Billy Thornton and Thornton Graphix and Dunn Raceway Park for stepping up for us this season. I hope we could put on some good shows for him. Thanks, buddy.
Well, hey, we got one late question from the King Canute, and when the King asks a question, you have to answer it. The question is, what was your biggest struggle tonight, and how can you take this experience into next week or for the money race at Eldora later this season?
Well, I don't want to give all my secrets away, but I think I'm going to hire somebody to drive the 7 car for that race because I don't think I have a chance in hell at winning it. But I just need to get more track time on the dirt and maybe do less administrating during the race so I focus a little better.
Well, we'll let you get to figure out how everything goes. I know we had a couple of cautions here tonight, to say the least, Garrett. But I'll tell you what, Dirt Dogger 93 says Stuart Friesen, and he's going to give him a call. So maybe we'll see Stuart Friesen out here on the racetrack at some point here in Total Nonstop Racing. But G, best of luck, and we'll maybe get to talk to you again next week at Darlington.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
All right. Well, that, folks, is league owner and organizer himself, Garrett Gleason. Let's see if we can get one more interview here tonight with one other driver, Jason Gracias. This is Peter Short up in 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Peter.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. It's been a long time since I last saw you out there on the racetrack. Of course, tonight was your first race in the iRacing iteration of the Total Nonstop Racing League. But tell us a little bit about dusting off your steering wheel and getting back into the swing of things.
Well, I got back into iRacing last year around August, and I did a lot of C-Fix racing and ARCA Fix racing. So I did that all throughout the winter months up until New Year's, and then I took a break, and then the whole COVID thing hit. So my wife took over the office, so I had no place to sim race. So I finally got my basement renovated and moved my rig downstairs, and that's where I started racing again. But my year of iRacing, I did nothing but ovals, so I never did a dirt race. So that was the first experience for me. It was kind of chaotic, but I had a good time nonetheless. I'm looking forward to going back to some actual ovals, things that I know how to drive at. So hopefully I don't look like a scrub to all our viewers out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, you walk away with a 4th place finish here tonight, and we go to Darlington next week. You looking forward to going to Darlington?
Darlington is one of the racetracks that I think suits my wheelhouse. I have a tendency to save tire, so if we can have a long green flag run going, I'm sure I can give these guys a good run for their money.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. I used to race against Jason Gracias, and if he can transfer the speed that he had back in the NR 2003 days to his speed out there in iRacing, he's going to be someone to watch this season. But Jason, before we let you go, you got anyone you want to shout out?
I just wanted to shout out Garrett. Thank him for getting all the guys back together. As we would say, he got the band back together. Shout out to Billy Thornton and his sponsorship of the league. And thanks to you and 3YTV for broadcasting some of these races to help us build an audience and get some more sim racers in the future.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, we'll hopefully get to talk to you next week at Darlington. But until then, best of luck.
Yeah, same. Have a good week, Pete.
All right. Well, folks, that is just about going to wrap things up here tonight. Now, one thing that we do have to go through, and I'm sure some drivers will be excited to see these race results, and the man himself, the man who's really helping sponsor this league, Billy Thornton in the number 5 machine, absolutely dominant here tonight. Down at the bottom of the screen, somehow it says he only left 26 laps, but that graphic is not correct. I'm sure that is due to iRacing turning off and turning on the lap counter when we go caution, so on and so forth. But he led every single lap in this feature race here tonight. Tony Lucarelli in the number 41 machine coming home in second. Cole Haan in the number 31 coming home in third. Jason Gracias in the number 4 coming home in fourth. So 4 for 4, a little bit of a Wendy's reference there. Philip Scott coming home inside the top 5 in the number 8 machine. Tristan Mayer in the number 17. Up, down night for him. What a recovery right there at the end of the race. Vincent Valvano. Man, he was missing a hood at the end of the race, but he comes home in 7th. Austin Grover in the number 83 machine, he finishes down there in 8th. Matt Monticelli, he rounds out the top 9 cars, and Mike Tellier rounds out your top 10 in the number 97. Definitely not the night that Mike was looking for, but I'm sure he will bounce back next week at Darlington. Finishing in the 11th position is the number 77 of Dave Harvey. Nate Catilla in the number 6 machine, making his total nonstop racing debut, comes home in 12th. Jason Freeman in the number 20 machine, not the night he was looking for. Might have been involved in something right there towards the end of the race. He finishes 21 seconds behind the race lead. Definitely not the night he was looking for, but I'll tell you what, Freeman is very, very fast, and I expect him to be strong throughout this season. I'm sure he will bounce back next week. And unfortunately, Garrett Gleason, the one car that did not make it to the end after having some heavy collision, destroyed his right front suspension in that collision, and unfortunately could go no further. But folks, it will be 1 week from now when we, in the 3-Wide TV booth, will make our way to the Darlington Raceway for more action. Make sure you join us. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our action, because we got action Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday nights here on the channel. This week, I believe it is tonight, and then we won't be back until Friday night when we got the National Sim Racing Association in action. We got their Simbox Truck Series, and if you're one of the Total Nonstop Racing drivers listening to this, one of the legacy Total Nonstop Racing drivers, you're going to want to tune in for the National Sim Racing Association, because one of our very own, Chris Darling, is the league admin for the National Sim Racing Association, and they're going to be running their 3rd race of the season. Very much looking forward to that one. After an off week, they're going to get back out there on the racetrack, I believe Las Vegas, so make sure you tune in Friday evening for that one. But for myself, Peter Short, and everyone on the 3-Wide television crew, we want to give each and every one of you a good night, and also want to give a shout out to our friends over at SimTV for the camera angles that we gave you here tonight around this beautiful racetrack. Here we are high atop the Eldora Raceway, and tell you what, without SimTV, things would be much more difficult, and we're looking forward to meeting each and every one of you guys next week at Darlington. But until then, have a good night, and